yourself. BeenVerified.com.
I think that maybe I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Twitter, because I get such a fake press, such a dishonest press. I was very good to NBC, and they are despicable. They're despicable in their coverage. CBS, ABC, you take a look at what's going on. I call it the fake press, the fake media. It is a disgrace what's happening.
All right, that was the president during his sit-down interview with Tucker Carlson. That was earlier today, calling out the alt-left media, destroyed Trump media for their dishonest coverage. Last night, MSNBC's Rachel Maddow hit an all-new low by focusing her show on Trump's 2005 leak tax return. She actually views herself as a journalist. She recently told the AP, quote, "People want to draft me as an activist all the time, ascribe that role to me. I'm not. The reason I know I'm not is that I stopped doing that in order to be the person who explained the news and delivered the news instead." It's a very clear line for me. She does think she's a journalist, which is hilarious, but Michelle Malkin of Michelle Malkin Investigates on CRTV is with us. All right, she's not a journalist. It's not even really worthy of a discussion in any way. But this is serious in a lot of ways. What's your reaction to it?
Well, the MS in MSNBC stands for Maddow sinks and sabotages NBC. I think that this was a long time in coming, and I'm glad to see that she beclowned herself as big as she did. Even many of her allies among the progressive movement on the left were smacking themselves in the forehead after salivating over her hype over the story. But I think it's worth discussing this very fundamental question about who is a journalist. Because if you're some elite liberal from an elite college who gets her pedigree from Oxford and it brags about her title as a Rhodes Scholar, it doesn't matter that your sole experience as a so-called journalist was as a radio host for bankrupt Air America. I actually committed journalism 12 years ago when I and a good friend of mine, Brian Maloney, did what nobody else would do, certainly not the fish record, in digging into the finances of that decrepit institution. And yet here is Rachel Maddow, who's been able to fail upward for years and years and call herself a journalist. Anybody can commit journalism. What these people commit every day is political propaganda.
No, and I agree with that. Look, if people ask me, the first thing I will tell you, and Cheryl Atkinson, I think, had a good word. I would say I'm an advocacy journalist. There's nobody that's watching this show, I don't think, that thinks that I'm a news person like a traditional newsman. I am a conservative talk show host, and in part that includes some straight interviews sometimes. But when it's day in and day out conspiracy theories without any evidence and any facts, we've got a big problem in the country. I argue an informational crisis. Your reaction?
Absolutely. And look, if you have a network that pretends that they are arbiters of what real journalism are, and they include clowns like Rachel Maddow and clowns like Lion Brian Williams, who shamed himself and yet still sits in that anchor chair with his august personality. This is a joke, and there are many citizen journalists across the country who can do a heck of a better job from their desks with a phone, a smartphone, and a camera than these people with their billion-dollar budgets. And that is the revolution that's happening.
And Trump was right in the interview. It's like, I one time, you know, everyone said, well, you told him to purge the U.S. attorneys. I never mentioned the U.S. attorneys. And Trump listens to what he wants. At one point, I said to him, maybe you should stop tweeting. I think he was right and I was wrong. And as much because that is his own newspaper, he reaches up nearly 100 million, 80 million, whatever the number is. But all right, Michelle Malkin, congrats on your new series, too. Thank you for being with us.
You bet. Take care, Sean.
All right, when we come back, we need your help. A very important question of the day, and apparently some very mean messages you're leaving for me on the Hannity hotline. We can take the heat. That's next.